Beginning, the mission to Vega 9. I never believed thoughts could be dangerous, until mine nearly started an interstellar war. My name's Elias Renner, communications officer aboard the Dauntless Horizon, the first human ship to cross into the Vega system. Our mission was simple: establish contact with an alien civilization rumored to exist beyond the nebular veil. What no one said out loud, but everyone thought, was that we were desperate. Earth's resources were running dry. We needed alliances, or new worlds to claim. On our 5th week past the veil, we found them, or they found us. Their vessel appeared like a ripple in reality, metallic and fluid, shimmering in colors that didn't exist on any spectrum. They called themselves the Val'ari, a telepathic species known across the sector for peace and wisdom, or manipulation, depending on who you asked. And then I met her. She introduced herself as Val'ari, an emissary for her people. Her form was humanoid, but ethereal, pale silver skin that glowed faintly under light, and eyes so deep they looked like stars trapped in glass. Her voice wasn't spoken. It appeared in my mind, calm and musical. "Human Elias Renner," she said. "Your thoughts reach me like whispers in a wind I cannot shut out." That's when I learned the first rule of Val'ari communication. They didn't just hear your words, they heard your thoughts too. It was supposed to be an honor to speak with one of them. But it was also terrifying. Every unspoken worry, every stray mental image, all of it laid bare before her. And despite all my training, despite all my professionalism, the moment I looked at her, at the surreal beauty of her form, the glow of her presence, I thought something I shouldn't have. Something purely human. "She's beautiful." Her gaze flicked toward me, her expression unreadable. And for the first time I felt something like a spark inside my head. Then, faintly, like an echo, I heard her reply. "You think in colors I have never seen before, Elias." It wasn't anger. It wasn't rejection. It was curiosity. That was the beginning of everything. Middle. When thoughts become connection. Over the next few days, the Dauntless Horizon and the Val'ari vessel, Ilarion, orbited the same moon, Vega 9's largest satellite, to begin talks of peace and cooperation. Captain D'Amico handled the politics. I handled the translation network. And Val'ari, she handled me. Whenever we were near, I could feel her presence like static in the air. Thoughts, impressions, half-felt emotions, drifting between us. She told me the Val'ari didn't speak aloud because their species evolved beyond deception. Thoughts, not words, were their truth. But what happens when a human's mind, messy, emotional, unfiltered, meets that truth? One evening, after hours of tense negotiations, she appeared in the comms bay. "You think too loudly," she teased softly in my mind. "Even when you are alone." I nearly jumped. "You can read me now. Across rooms. Across stars if the bond is strong." She said it like it was nothing. But my pulse quickened. We talked about Earth, about her people, about how Val'ari emotions are experienced collectively. "Love," she explained, "is not private among my kind. When two souls join, their thoughts flow as one current." And I, fool that I was, thought about how lonely I'd been on Earth, how isolated humans are inside their skulls. I thought about what it would be like to share a thought like that, freely, with no fear or hiding. And she heard me. Course she did. "You wish to be known," she said. "To be seen without masks." Froze. "It's just curiosity," I lied aloud. "Lies echo," she said simply. "Truth hums." I could feel her amusement through the link, soft and warm like sunlight. That night she reached into my mind again. I was lying in my cabin, staring at the ceiling, when her voice slipped through the silence. "Your dreams are bright," she whispered. Do you dream of me? I didn't answer, but my thoughts did. And she laughed. From that moment on, I couldn't stop thinking about her. Not as an emissary, not as an alien, but as something far more dangerous. A presence that made me feel both small and infinite. And the more I thought, the stronger the connection became. During the final session of negotiations, the Val'ari Council proposed a unity pact, a psychic bond between one human and one Val'ari to symbolize trust. It was to be purely ceremonial. But when Tolere's voice entered my head before the ceremony, it wasn't formal. It was personal. Elias, she said softly, I have chosen you. My heart stopped. What? Why me? Because your thoughts do not hide from me. And because I wish to understand what it means to be human. It wasn't a proposal. It was a merging of destinies. The ritual began inside a chamber filled with floating crystalline structures. We stood across from each other as currents of light danced around us. She placed her hands, glowing and cool, against my temples. Open your mind, she said. Do not resist. And I didn't. The bond hit like lightning. I saw flashes, her memories, her fears, her planet's oceans of silver mist, her people linked in harmony. Then she saw mine. Earth's noise, chaos, loneliness, music, laughter, the smell of rain. When it ended, I wasn't sure who I was anymore. Elias, or part of her. But then, through the haze, she smiled. You thought I was beautiful once, she whispered inside my mind. Now you know why. You saw me with your soul. The conflict, the dangerous secret. But peace was never easy. The Val'ari Council detected the strength of our bond, stronger than any human link before. They feared it. They said such a union could blur species boundaries, destabilize the psychic equilibrium between minds. Captain D'Amico wanted me pulled from duty. Tolere wanted to keep the connection alive. If they sever it, she told me, it could destroy us both. The council insisted it was necessary. They scheduled the severance ceremony within the day. But that night, as the stars glimmered coldly outside the viewport, she appeared again. Her eyes shimmered with fear, something I had never sensed in her before. Elias, there is something you do not know. I felt a pulse of emotion, deep, ancient sadness. The bond we share is not ceremonial. It is sacred. In my world, it is marriage. Froze. You mean? In Val'ari law, when two minds merge completely, it is for life. You are part of me now. My thoughts stuttered. Married. To an alien. Against my will, or maybe against my understanding. She continued, her voice trembling through the psychic link. If they cut the bond, Elias, I will die. Our souls are entwined. That was her secret. The ritual wasn't symbolic. It was irreversible. And suddenly, the ceremony to undo our bond became an execution. Ending. Duty, sacrifice, and destiny. When the council summoned us, I went willingly, but with a plan. They gathered in a vast chamber, minds shimmering in unison. Tolere stood beside me, silent, her gaze pleading. The council's lead telepath raised his hands to begin the severance. I reached for her, both physically and mentally, and projected one thought as loud as I could. You will not take her from me.